Hey.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
I don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still to the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof, like I always wanted him. I never hated him. I never traded him. And if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like another city, the driver's side floor. Gucci a large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube, but view it for free. Hey, this one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Why is there no hockey tonight? What is this? I gotta wait for basketball. I gotta wait.
Oh my goodness. So
I gotta wait for all this stuff.
the only thing that annoys me
I don't know
about
if
all
Leroy's not
this.
potted up or if he's not muted, but I don't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you sound good.
All right. The only thing that really annoys me is I understand during all of the other series, if you find a day because one team closes it out early and you have it all planned out to be opposite basketball, hockey, or whatever. But the finals and when these games are going to be played are decided before any playoffs start in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how we can forget about these sports because they don't play their games in a manner that keeps you engaged.
Just miss my cats, man. I just miss them so much.
Right.
They gave me so much happiness a couple days ago.
So
And
they
now I'm
fly
like-
all the way across the world and play the very next day.
Do we think, we've always talked about for years, Astron and the South Beach flu.
You think they incorporated it in the schedule?
I'm wondering, is there any shot Edmonton gets a little too loose with some days down here in South Florida? A little too much. Because I know the Cats, they're like Bane. They're born in the elbow room. Like they know how to handle all of this. I don't know what the party scene is like in Edmonton, because one thing we haven't really touched on is how is Edmonton and these because hockey players can be a bit reckless, and who's to say that they're not out there in these streets just getting crazy, and if this is going to tilt to even more of a Cats advantage.
You want me to tell you why? They ain't doing nothing. Because they walk up on Astron,
Yeah.
right? And Astron say, hey, he's the one that hurt our Bob.
He's like,
and Astron kicks their ass.
Astron's like, not my Bob.
Yes.
Not doing that to me.
Yes. What were you trying to fight with our Kachuk?
You think Darnell Nurse walks up on a honey and is like, hey, aren't you the guy that got your face beat in by Jonah Gadget?
Yes.
He goes, no. You should see the other guy. She goes, I did. He was smiling at you.
Yes. So I think it might have a very negative effect. However,
is Las Olas flu a thing? Is it a thing? We know that Anton Lundell's Mr. Las Olas.
Oh, but here's the other thing. There's some Canadians down here. You think they exported their own Astron?
Oh, I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
All bets are off, dude. I don't
know.
They
might have fans down here.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, you got to think like maybe Astron was looking at the NBA Finals and they're like, Oklahoma City and Indiana, and they thought to themselves, Stanley Cup, new clientele.
I guess. I don't know. All I know is
Dade South says
that if anybody's talking about this series and not starting off with the phrase, the Edmonton Oilers have been playing Bush League hockey.
Bush League, dude.
Then you haven't been watching hockey very much. What happened at the end of that game is a disgrace.
Oh, it really was. And I think the thing that's funny about it is it feels like everybody's still blaming the Panthers. They're like,
And
well,
wait,
this is what the Panthers
and
do.
they're
This-
complaining.
I know. Like the Panthers are like sitting here like, we just want a hockey. And you got them saying, well, they get away with everything. And what about the referees? And what they're not seeing? It's like you guys sound like a bunch of babies.
We've seen this over and over again in the last 2 years, especially when the Panthers beat you up, wear you down, and then instead of hockey, you want to fight.
Yep.
And what ends up happening is
Big mistake.
you end up losing 5-1, 3-0, 6-1 because you couldn't concentrate on hockey and you wanted to go to the street stuff.
Lost your mind, dude. Dade South says that Fort Lauderdale has El Bola. That's a point. You're a rascal. That's a point, Dade South. El Bola. Well, I feel like Elbow Room. Does Elbow Room even welcome? I don't see McDavid as a partier. I see McDavid as like hockey, and he just
Mr. Serious Hockey Guy.
goes and charges himself in a room.
How about
like,
Draisaitl?
Draisaitl, I can see. Like maybe he goes and parties. Bouchard, and I can see these guys going out there and
Oh,
partying.
Kane is liquored up right
Oh.
now.
But I'm just wondering, like, does the Elbow Room even like? Do they have a do not serve the Oilers here? Like, are there rules? I don't know. Schmeathan says that the intangibles love them some Las Olas. I think I can't deny that. I can't remember the last time I went out on Las Olas. Brittany, are you Dave Broward? Like, have you partaken in Las Olas Boulevard anytime recently?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like a year or so, but I've partaken. I went to FAU like for 2 semesters, so I definitely partook in some Las Olas.
I feel like most of the kids are going to Atlantic now, even if you're in Palm Beach.
No, it was still because I'm 25, so this was like 2018.
Mhm.
So it was still Las Olas more than Atlantic for sure.
Yeah, I can't even recall the last time that I went on Las Olas Boulevard. I do remember getting caught one time sneaking in when I was 18. And I was like, I tried to do the old dive under the tables and I got caught. Thankfully, the fraternity I was with, they knew the bouncer, so I was able to stick around for a little bit. But the guy was like, this was the move. Like they were trying to sneak me in. This is a big move. Like you always, if you know the bouncer, you can sneak in with a group of people. One time I snuck in a roundup with Brad Penny's entourage.
What is you with the? You've hung out at 17 spots in South Florida with Brad Penny.
Just roundup. Just
Okay,
roundup.
Okay,
Just
okay, all right.
But I was just like, oh, that was great. That's save because as a college kid, you save every dollar you can get. If I don't have to pay $20 to get in the roundup,
Is it
Thank you,
roundup
Brad Penny.
18 plus?
Not for dudes. Like you still have to
What?
pay. Yeah. When I say I snuck in, Brittany, I snuck in without pay.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I snuck into to roundup, and I snuck in with no cover.
Oh,
You are
okay,
right.
okay.
It is 18
I
plus
was
to
like,
go
what?
to go honky tonkin', but you have to pay. But if you sneak in with Brad Penny, no pay. And Matt Kemp. He was on the Dodgers at the time. He wasn't even on the Marlins. He was making his return. But there was another move where I was trying to sneak into a bar in Las Olas, and everyone was like, just be cool. I know the bouncer. Just stay with me. And my dumb ass was like, I'm going to sneak under their border was just tables. Like they didn't have velvet ropes. They just had like these rando tables to like block it off. And I decided, why don't I just dive under the tables? And like, why did he do that? I went rogue. I went Leroy Jenkins. Schmeathan says Tobin looks like American Social.
Oh, jeez.
Never been to American Social. But anyway, I was just wondering. I was like, I wonder if 2 days off for the Oilers is going to be detrimental to them because this Knobloch seems like he's wound real tight. Knobloch looks like the type of guy, like his type of night of going crazy is just to like have a glass of wine by like the hotel fireplace, the fake fireplace, and read a book. Like that's what Chris Knobloch looks like he's up to. And he's like, all right, you boys be good. And as soon as he gets tuckered out, they all just go party their ass off.
Of course.
That's what he looks like, dude. He does. He just looks wound tight, Chris Knobloch. Anyway, headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. If anybody has boots on the ground and eyes on the Oilers on where they're partying, do tell. We're all for it.
Do tell.
Marlins beat the Pirates yesterday 3-2. Sandman. He looked like Sandman.
Yeah. 6
shutout innings for the Sandman yesterday.
All
Rubber
right.
matches this afternoon. We got a little afternoon baseball at 12:30. And maybe throw a little chili pepper on there. Who knows there, baby? And a little something. Cal Quantrill's on field today, though. You got to be wary. He gives up some meatballs. And some NBA happens. We'll take a break because we got to laugh at a team that we love to laugh at. We'll take a break. Back after this.
WQAM broadcasting live from the
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. We'll take you guys up until 2 here on the program as NBA Finals resume tonight.
I mean, as exciting as the first game was,
Yep.
this
is to decide if it's going to be an exciting series, right?
Oh, yeah. If OKC wins by 30,
yeah, it's going to feel over. It's going
back
to feel
to hockey.
It's back to hockey. Yeah, 100%. Which is kind of what I'm like. Look, I don't care who wins tonight, but whoever wins tonight, win in 5 because I want to get to the offseason. Respectfully. Respectfully.
All right.
Respectfully. Now, I feel like only one team can account because I feel like if Indiana has a shot, this feels like it has to be like a go 7, things keep breaking their way, Halliburton does something amazing. Like that feels like their only shot is to drag out this series. The only one who feels like they'll win it quick is like gentlemen, top hats and monocle style would be OKC.
Right.
But I want to.
It's weird because well, I can't even say this, but I was thinking it, and I don't know it because now that I'm going through the champions, when was the last time we had a finals where one team wasn't a favorite and just won it? Because we go back to Boston, everybody thought Boston was going to win.
The last upset win.
Right. That's what I'm not even upset, but the fact of the matter of when people were picking it, you really didn't know.
I don't remember if in the Golden State series people were picking Boston because I felt like everybody every year was picking Boston these last few years. Even with them having Steph, it felt like I don't know what the odds were going into that series. I'd have to look it up. But that it wasn't a massive upset.
That's the last one I can think of to where you didn't, because even when Cleveland played Golden State, right? They had won 73 games and just came back from 3-1. And when they came back from 3-1 against, I think, was it OKC?
Yes.
They came back from 3-1 against OKC and they were like, oh, this is done. And then they went up 3-1. Right? So that's the last time I can think of where when that series was over, everybody was like, whoa.
Yeah, that thought that when that series was going on, like that was a foregone conclusion because they had just won the year before, even though the Cleveland did get injured in that finals. To come back and then win 73 games,
right?
People were like, "Oh, that team is they're walking to the finals easily."
Right, and they showed. I remember watching on TV the other day. They showed the largest, odds, and we knew one of them was, remember, Detroit beat Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
They were like minus 1,000.
Yeah, according to, and I always am a little worried because Google's AI kind of sucks, but they say the opening odds for that finals was the Celtics as slight dogs.
Okay.
So not even them.
Right. So watching this and just watching all year how now, if I'm a basketball player, I'm not looking at the West. I'm looking at the East and thinking the East got to be wide open.
The Suns-Bucks series, the Suns were favorites over Giannis.
Really?
Minus 165, yeah.
Wow. But that's small favorite.
It's a small favorite. It's not a massive. It's not a
Right.
massive. This one's a massive line.
Massive.
A massive line. Let's make fun of the Knicks. The Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau today. They have now been denied their 3rd head coaching interview. Today it was Jason Kidd. They have apparently reached out to Ime Udoka. They got denied by the Rockets. They reached out to Chris Finch, denied by the Timberwolves, and now have reached out to Jason Kidd, which wasn't a surprise. There was a lot of reports about that. And the Pacers says, and the Mavericks said, nah, denied.
You know what's weird? Like, did we? Now I know he's a good coach, and I know that the players seem to really like Jason Kidd. But are we looking at Jason Kidd in a way that teams are going to give up assets to get him?
I mean, he's a good coach. Like, he's definitely grown a lot. He's definitely grown a lot after some early issues. He's coached a lot of stars, so he's got that cachet, I think. But I just think it's weird that they fired their coach and like
without a plan.
You had nobody. Like your hope was just, like everyone's gonna say, yeah, you get our coach.
You know they ain't gonna even think about Chris Quinn. I think they want nothing to do with Miami.
No, I think if they were to call Miami, I feel like they're calling about Spo the way they're acting. Like I feel
it's so New York organization. Because I'm gonna say the Jets got caught up in this too. You're not looking for the hottest new thing. You're going to try to snatch somebody's coach. That's so New York.
Yeah.
Right? Who does that? Name another team that has fired their coach, and their solution is, let's go get somebody else's coach. Let's not look for a new coach ourselves.
Yeah, it feels very New York, feels very Lakers, but
the Lakers haven't even done that.
No. Not recent. I mean, they got Podcast Boy recently. Darvin Ham was.
They've always had like a coach that didn't have a job, right? I mean, even when the Bucks got Doc, he wasn't working. He wasn't coaching.
No, he wasn't coaching anymore.
That's a level of arrogance in sports that I am not familiar with, where you say, oh, everybody wants to coach at the Mecca.
Well, yeah, and it's also one of these things like you didn't know already. Like I would have felt like if you're gonna call and you're like,
gonna fire Tibbs, you got somebody locked and loaded.
We got somebody like, hey, they said yes, they're gonna give us permission, or I mean, maybe they just asked Jason Kidd and they were like, hey, Jason, would you be interested? Will you make a stink? But it's like when you're a team, like I think Jason Kidd was traded as a coach. I think they got like 2 second-round picks for him. I think it was
when he went to
when he went to Brooklyn. I think when he went from Milwaukee to Brooklyn, yeah, he was traded. But I don't know. I mean, like to me, that's just like it's a crazy thing to go fire this guy who's a good coach. I get it. He wears thin on his players because of how much he plays them, but
they love him. Nobody complains about Tibbs.
Well, the thing was, yeah, I mean, unless he's a big fat liar, Jalen Brunson really went to bat for him after the season too.
Right.
So I don't know.
I just think that we sometimes take moments and make those moments the relationship, right? Like we see this coach yelling at a player, the players must hate him. And coaching is sometimes very abrasive. Like I can honestly say that especially in football, if you haven't been yelled at, cussed at, dressed down because you made a boneheaded play or did something that's out of your character on the football field, then your coach ain't coaching, right? Like that's and what happens is you have more of a chance of losing a locker room if you're not consistent with that.
I think it's also interesting that they haven't apparently reached out to Michael Malone. Like I would have figured that would have been a place you go because he won a title a couple of years ago, even with him being abrasive.
If they call Michael Malone, they should have just kept Tibbs.
I don't think he's as rigid as like, oh, I'm going to play you a gazillion minutes, but he is ornery. He's a prickly dude. That's for sure.
Listen, at some point in your life, right? you're going to come across somebody that you have to do business with that you do not like. But he does a good job. He gets the work done on time, and you deal with it, right? It's no different than a company that deals with a Karen, male or female, but they pay on time, even though they're difficult throughout the whole process. That's life. That's the way it goes. So for I don't know what the problem is with Tip. And here's the funny thing about it. Everybody tried to justify it by saying, this as far as Tips can get them. They need somebody to get over the hump. So you go hire a coach that hasn't gotten that far? Right? It seems weird.
Yeah. I mean, all those guys have been in the conference finals or finals, but
nobody's won it except for Malone.
Nobody's won it out of that group. No.
Right. So while you say you're firing a coach and hiring a coach because the next coach can get you over the hump, you actually have no proof that he can other than Mike Malone.
Do you think they even call the Heat? Like, do they even bother?
No, they don't. Dude, it's the Knicks and the Heat. Let me ask you a question. If you knew one of the best coaches in football was coaching on the Jets right now, would you go grab him as a Dolphins fan?
I don't know if I get the example. So you're just saying because of rivalry?
Yeah. Or wait, you gonna call Pat Riley and that's Pat Riley? Can you talk to a coach? Right.
I'd love to see if that happens.
Wait,
just to see if they could.
Just
to see if they could.
Right.
I know the Heat leak nothing. I would love them to leak if they ask permission. I would love to know.
But you understand that, like, yeah, that's a tough thing right there.
Like,
I mean,
well,
listen, there's no greater petty than petty with money.
Oh yeah,
rich petty, they can take it to the grave.
I just love to know if that happened. That would be such a funny thing to see. We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program, streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQAM. Stanley Cup Final resumes tomorrow night.
Can't
Panthers
wait.
And Oilers get to the road to repeat here, brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink.
Your Florida Panthers.
Cats will have a practice today and gear up. Chris Knobloch saying some lineup changes could be happening for his squad. Good luck, dude. Shuffle the deck however you want. Go up there and do what you want, man. It's fine. I'd love to see it. The next piece is when they blame Skinner. I'm sorry, Skinner. That's what's gonna happen next. It's not even your fault, dude. That's gonna be their next rats off move. Seeing these Oilers fighting each other at their watch parties, Leroy. Oh my God.
That's what happens.
The Cats have completely broken these people.
Yep.
And when you're fighting each other, I mean, you fight other fans. That's one thing. You fight each other. That's a whole nother. But I couldn't imagine spending your night because they stopped showing that stupid crowd. They showed them one time after that goal. How come we never get any sad shots, TNT? Do tell. Don't be afraid to give us a crowd shot after the Cats go up 6-1 and I could go, oh, there's probably nobody there, right? They didn't want to show that. Don't be afraid. I would love to see what the crowd looks like. One of my favorite things in college football, college football is the king of this, of showing the sad fan in the crowd. Oh, you show me a sad fan with some colors painted, like if they deck themselves out and they have themselves just sad, looking all depressed because their college football team stinks. Wow. That is one of the top-notch things in sports.
My favorite are the tears.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm a huge college football fan, but why are we crying? Why are we crying?
I like the one guy at FSU who reads the book. That's my favorite.
That's always a good one.
He's in the upper deck. He just sits there reading books. That's when you know he's disgusted. He stops watching the Seminoles and he just starts reading books.
One of my favorite sad shot sequences was the Florida and game last year. Ooh, there were some good sad shots.
There was some good. That was top notch.
I know this sounds terrible.
Hmm?
The sad kids who really don't really understand why they sad, but it just seems like the right thing to be because they want to be ultimate fan. So they start boohooing.
That was my son this year when I took him to Heat Jazz and they lost by 36.
Oh, was he? So I picture at some point Tommy's gonna be the hockey kid, right? Just yelling outside of the stadium. Who's gonna stop Bob?
Possible. We went to the one game we went to this year. We went to Cats Utah and they won in overtime. And I think that was Brad Marchand's first game. He had the setup to Bennett. Dude, he loves the Cats after that. That was they put out such a better first impression than the Heat. I was ready to sit here, and I still think I've done a good job because he'll still fight his friends, and his friends will talk about goats, and one's talking about Wilt Chamberlain. I'm like, what? You're a child, and he
Wilt
just
Chamberlain's not even famous for basketball.
Well, that's
I'm not sure they know all about that, Leroy.
we're trying to keep them wholesome. They are 9.
Right.
Dave South says, you see the little girl that said she loves the fights? I did see that. Yeah, Clay Ferrara from Local 10. He's like, and what do you like, little Sophia? The fights. Yeah, that's a good parent.
That wasn't even fighting, though. See, here's the problem that I have with certain sports. There are things that are necessary to happen on the ice or on the field or whatever that have to happen to keep things in order. But the people watching don't always understand it, and what they pull from it right, is not what is actually going on. So when you see the fights, they go, "Oh, I love the fights." That's not hockey fights. That was one team giving a full display of bad sportsmanship, of just unsportsmanlike behavior. And so that's what gets lost in this. Like, there's certain times where, you know what? You got to be able to hold your ground. You got to be able, if somebody's being aggressive, you got to apply that aggression. You got to apply that aggression right back so you don't get pushed around, right? But then there's what happened the other night, in where the team's getting their asses kicked, and their solution and their comeback is fighting. And that's hard to separate when you're a kid. And so you say, yeah, you love the hockey fights. That wasn't hockey fights, right? We've seen hockey fights. That was just, we lost, we're fighting.
Yeah, because you typically, as the rounds go on, you don't even see that much action.
They don't fight as much. They just grab each other and shake because nobody wants to give an advantage.
No, but we definitely have seen, as these series have gone, one thing that, like, it feels like as these series go on, and this goes back to Tampa where they tried to cheap shot Barkey. This goes to what happened with Sam Bennett against Toronto, to even the early games against Carolina, is they're all trying to make their impact to show that they're not going to be pushed around. And I think that this is the thing that the Cats are showing, because they've been on the other end of it where they were the finesse team. And like, this is a thing that's been hardened about them for the last few years. And I just think you got to be who you are. And I think the thing with the Cats that is missed upon all the bitching and moaning people do about, oh, they play on the line or the state tax and all that, like, you guys are missing, like, they have built this identity over years. This isn't something that they just roll out of the game with.
Over getting abused.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they won the President's Cup, like, every game was a dogfight because everybody was coming in there saying, we're just going to push them around.
Yeah, it was a track meet.
Right.
It was just, but then what the thing that's been beautiful about what Bill Zito has done is, as they've gone along and they've had opportunity to add guys, they just add the perfect guys. So Seth Jones and Brad Marchand are just fitting in seamlessly. And even when you lose Montour and Ekman Larson, like, Mikula steps up. Gadjevich, who wasn't even on the run last year, basically was scratched all the time, has stepped up. Like, I just think that that's been a beautiful thing. We've seen the development of Etu Losterainen and how good he's been. I mean, like, he's always
crazy. Gadjevich sounds like hockey.
Yeah.
He's going to be a hockey player or MMA fighter, right? Like, there's no in between. He's not going to be in the office, right? But
no,
yeah, I just think, you know what I'm most impressed by? I'm most impressed by, as physical as they play, when the other team tries to, be physical back, how the Panthers all maintain poise, right? They all maintain poise. They start smiling. They go, we do this every day. You're a visitor to this type of game. And for the Edmonton coach to say, we're physical. No, you're not.
No.
You're not physical. You skate fast. You have skilled skaters that don't like getting busted in the mouth.
Tier says, Dr. Gadjevich, you're needed in the ER. See, like, I feel now.
Wait, he's coming in. He's going to the operating room with a chainsaw, right?
I feel like Dr. Gadjevich walks in there and he looks at you and he goes, your limb is like falling off. He's like, you'll be all right.
I can fix that.
Just rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine. You're good. This is a maniac. I mean, like, he was like sitting there. He's like just like a child. He's like taunting them like a legitimate schoolyard bully after what happened in that game. It was hilarious.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, I was watching MMA.
Oh,
on Saturday, and one of the guys' nickname was the polar bear.
Oh, Spivak.
Yeah.
Sergei
Who,
Spivak.
who ended up winning that fight? It was terrible.
Yeah, it's hit or miss with heavyweights sometimes.
Because, look, they start off throwing haymakers. And then in the middle of, like, the second round, they're like, nobody's got knocked out yet?
Yep.
Yikes. And then they just hug.
That's why I love this dirty boxing that I'm doing this weekend. You want to know why?
Why?
They perfect 3-minute rounds. The
Oh,
big
so
boys
you can just go in there. You can go in there like Olympic boxing and just wail.
No feel outs whatsoever. It's going to be boom, 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 boom. Like it's that. So these big guys can just go in there and just land, haymaker after haymaker. It's like, all right, get a little blow, and now they not cocaine. They get a little breath, and so we know we are. I mean, it isn't Coral Gables. I just want to be clear. And then we can get right back out there and do it again. So I'm looking forward to that. That is that's going to be a fun scene. But yeah, man, I think this is I get it. This was a super closely contested series. The first two games, Cats put a whooping on them, but they could really change the tone tomorrow. And like I feel like if they beat them down one more time, like I know that they came back to make it a game 7 last year, but I've also seen this Cats ability to adjust in a series.
Right.
And I just feel like they could really put the death grip on this thing tomorrow.
Here's what the problem is. And the Panthers have gotten to the place of Golden State, got to the place of the Heat, that you watch them and you go, oh my goodness, they're awesome and they're the better team. But you always look for what the other team can do to beat them. You don't look at they're just dominating and beating you in every way possible. And we do this when teams are in that moment for a long period of time, right? We consistently do it. That, what do we do it with? We did it with Kansas City, right? Kansas City always in the Super Bowl. We're not until something happens, and Philly beat the brakes off of them. But we don't do that with the Panthers. We don't give them their flowers and say, hey, until I see somebody beat them at their game, I'm going with the Panthers. Nobody does that.
Right. It's a crazy thing. Like even back to
crazy. They earned it.
Like back to the first round, like the majority of the experts picked the Lightning. And I was like,
Lightning.
why?
And then let's go to the next round. Oh, Carolina. Woo! Right?
Yeah, because Carolina's like, oh, it's like, yeah, their bracket was easier. Like, I don't know. Like the Panthers played in the best division all year.
Right.
Stun Steve says that Dr. Gadgevitz definitely harvests organs. What does that mean? That means like he has an organ in like one of those styrofoam coolers.
Yes. It's like, hey, your arm's broken, but we're gonna go ahead on and take one of your kidneys. That'll make you feel better.
Take a break. Back after this. Tagovailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of food.
Now a tour of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Get the headlines. Brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Minicamp continues for the Dolphins in Miami Gardens. Tua. See that bombski that he had to Malik Washington yesterday, Leroy? What? Little bombski, baby.
Would you like a little insight on how that works?
No, I just wanted to enjoy the bombski, but sure. I mean, I guess football me up.
A quarterback throws the ball
Mhm.
in the air. The receiver adjusts to it. A good receiver will make it look like, ooh, that was a perfect pass. But if you pay attention, his speed is accommodating the ball. So it always looks a lot better than it is. It's more on the receiver to adjust to the ball than the quarterback to throw it. Now, granted, he can't throw it short, right? So that's the only thing that'll hurt that. But when you see a ball in the air and you see the receiver adjusting to it and they go, oh, look at this, right on the money. I'm like, yeah, the receiver made it.
No. I'm going to send it to you. You tell me, because I think Dade South's right, because he's like, you're doing a Bam was right thing. You're being complete devil's advocate without seeing it, and you're taking all credit away. Like, we can't even just have fun anymore. I'm excited. Malik Washington's a guy to be excited about. Makes Trader expendable. I don't know. If he's, if he makes a little development, I don't know, a little leap ski. That's all I'm saying. Little leap.
He's tiny.
He is shifty.
That is a good throw.
It's a good throw, right?
Because keep in mind, what makes it even that much more incredible is he never had to break stride, and the receiver is right on him.
There we go.
So it wasn't like he was running free. So yeah, it was a good throw.
Good throw.
Yeah,
right. We got some. I would
put that throw on the quarterback for dropping the dime. Right? Look at that. That's accurate there.
Yeah, Tua was talking about with Malik, like they didn't get to do a lot of that stuff last year with the deep plays to him. So
right,
if that becomes a thing for them. Tua did speak yesterday on a lot of different things. Let's hear from the Dolphins quarterback here. First and foremost, says the number one thing he's working on is protecting himself. Here was Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, for sure. Doing everything I can to stay available for the guys. Like I said before, in the past, nothing changes with that. It's knowing when is the time to give up on a play. And, I would say the longevity for me to be on the field with my guys is more important than whatever that one play is. You have more quarters than there would be within just that one play that I'm trying to, show the guys that, I'm competitive and whatnot. And I know they know that, but it's just a nature. It's a nature thing. It just comes natural to me to compete in that sense. And that's just the thing I fight with every time. Yeah, for sure. Doing everything I can to stay available for the guys. Like I said before, in the past, nothing changes.
I think it's looping there. Hey, let me just say, Tua, attaboy. That's what I'm talking about. Let's give up on some plays. Stay safe. None of this running around nonsense. Stupid. I didn't like it when we talked about it last year. I didn't like Tua going full keto, slimming up. I don't like it. Drink your beer, put a little pooch on, You stay in that pocket. You stay safe. You stay safe.
How can I want him to stay safe while playing football, which makes it difficult at times, right? And
It's
I
a very
just
dangerous sport.
huh?
It's a very
Right.
dangerous sport.
Right. Because if it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1 in a critical moment of the game, get the first. You got to get the first. You just have to.
Mhm.
I don't like you still got to play football.
That's how he got in trouble against the Texans. Had that
I
giant
understand.
behemoth fall on him like a walrus.
I understand that.
His hip
But
crunched.
again, dude, in all honesty,
Nick Saban's been telling him this since he was a teenager.
Yeah,
Stop
but-
extending the plays and you're going to get hurt.
okay,
He's
but
literally been doing it since college.
we're actually talking about two different things. Okay? Because I understand what Nick Saban and what a lot of people are talking about. Sitting back there patting the ball, trying to make a play, and then something's going to give, and it's usually your hip, your leg, or your head. Okay? What I'm talking about, okay, is you still want Tua to play football. That's when he has to make a decision. Nothing there, get rid of it. But when it's 3rd and 1 or 2, and you at one of them moments in the game, I need my quarterback to get the first. You gotta play football. You have to. And for people to think that they're gonna be fine at a pivotal point in the game, 3rd and 1, and he got some room to run and get the first, you're gonna have a problem with it. And you're gonna say, here's what's gonna happen. This is why he can't be our quarterback. This is why this is why that, right?
What do you think?
So I want
Brendan?
him to be safer. I want him, the things that you and Nick Saban are talking about are accurate because he don't have the Josh Allen or the Ben Roethlisberger size
No.
to be standing back there like a tree. That's the part he has to understand. But at the same time, you got to play football.
Brittany, I to peg you as a Tua skeptic, would that
Yes.
be fair?
Fair.
All right, so what do you think about Tua's assessment that he's going to protect himself better?
I think I think it's bullcrap because I know when he gets out there we're gonna see the same thing over and over again. He's not gonna give up on plays. He's hardwired to do that, and I think his answer like, oh, that's my it's my competition. It's like in me to be that competitive. It's just like I don't know. It just seems
can't
so
change.
he can't
But-
change. I just don't think that you can change you. He's 27 now. He's been doing
but
this since
here-
Alabama days. Like
The competition aspect of it, you can't change. He's a competitive dude.
exactly.
However, how you go about it, right? Like one of the hardest things for a young quarterback to do, right, is to throw incomplete ball. That's why young quarterbacks have problems with trying to force a ball in a tight area. That's why, because if Josh Allen throws a ball away, like we're going to say, okay, all right, there was nothing there. You live to play another play.
Exactly.
But there's certain quarterbacks in the league because they don't have that cachet. They're young. They're trying to make a name for themselves. That throwing that ball away has a different tone.
But aren't
And
we
so
past
Tua has to get over that.
Yeah,
Right?
like shouldn't we be past that already?
No, not
Well, I think that's
the
what this
player
was-
isn't. The people may be, but the player, it's always he's had this criticism about him his whole career.
But this is the thing, Leroy. The thing that
Way is like buying into it.
But this is the thing that I got that I didn't like last year when he was slimming up is that like it felt to me very much like I'll do it your way. Did it 17 games, big contract extension, and then it was like no, I'm going to do it my way now. Like this should have been the path a year ago.
Right. I got you. And again, I I would say this, and I'm trying to be just honest about it. Like,
Be honest, Posh.
you have a mentality of how you want to do things beforehand. And then you get in a game and the circumstances and the atmosphere and the determination and the competitiveness comes out. And those things get lost, right? And it happens to a lot of people. It's not just Tua. Tua has just been a victim of it more than anybody else.
He's the poster child of it of the NFL.
He is right now.
Right.
And he said that he's sick of it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But at no point do I want to see a player on my team, even though it may not be the case, look like he's not competing. And I think players think that too. And it's easy for you to say, right? Like, for example, the difference between Jim Brown and Franco Harris. And one of the things that Jim Brown despised about Franco Harris.
Timely references, dude.
Well, it is because this went on for years.
Didn't want to go like Eddie George, Sean Alexander. Do we want to go?
No, because they didn't have beef.
Franco Harris.
They had beef because Franco Harris, who was small, a lot smaller than Jim Brown, when he could get every yard that he could, he would jump out of bounds. And Jim Brown goes, "You're a running back. You fight, claw, and scratch." But Jim Brown was 235, 240. Mm-hmm. So he could say that. And I think he needs to be Franco Harris and not Jim Brown.
I mean, we'll take a break. When I come back, we'll compare Joe Louis to Jersey Joe Walcott.
Oh, my God. Ass.
Back after this.
A statement game from the
Welcome back, everybody. Leroy, can we get a weather update from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm? YourAccidentAttorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call them at 866-954-MORE.
You sure can. The Desmond and Dover. One big happy family. I don't even know how to say it thanks to Jennifer.
No,
Yeah, she messed it up. All righty. Looks like I got partly to mostly cloudy out west. Winds are coming out of the south-southeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's 90 degrees. And I would say, like yesterday, be prepared for a straight shower here in the evening because it's that time of year.
Oh, you never know when you get dumped on around these parts.
Nope. And then when it's pouring by you, one of your friends are going to call you and say, oh, it's sunny here.
Yeah,
welcome to Florida.
Yeah, welcome to Florida. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Appreciate that.
Speaking of Florida, the Big Three in their most anticipated season yet is going to take center court in Miami at the Kaseya Center on June 29th. Get your tickets out, KaseyaCenter.com. We had a friend of the show, Michael Cooper, in yesterday. He was a blast.
Yes.
He was fun.
I didn't appreciate how y'all set him up and he just went at my little goatee.
That dude was pure silly sauce since the moment he walked in the studio. He was just looking for fun. It was a great time. So go check out the Big Three. Sounds like it's going to be a great time. Like how I was like, oh, you're starting the tour because it's not a tour, it's a season. I'm like, all right, dude, I didn't call you the Savannah Bananas. Calm down.
Hey, I tell you what though, my man has energy.
He does.
Energy.
Let's hear a little bit more from Tua. Tua spoke to the media yesterday for the first time this off season. And Tua Tagovailoa was talking about the Miami Dolphins getting some more explosive plays and how the Dolphins could get back to that. This is what Tua had to say about how the Dolphins get back to explosive offense.
Well, I think the key to that is continuing to stay within the play of this offense, but, really, really honing in on when we get opportunities, not falling asleep on, all right, this is how we've been doing it, and we're going to stay consistent with taking what they give us. But you got to also have that shift of mind that when we get a play where you have an opportunity to take a shot and it allows for you to take a shot, you can't miss that opportunity.
I never miss a chance to take a shot.
Here's what I would say. That sounds great. It's a lie. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if they can't run the ball, then the offense is going to look like it did last year.
It was such a disappointing drop-off from them, from the year beforehand. It really was.
I mean, look. And we say this about players all the time. Teams spend an entire offseason preparing for what they may face next year from every team they're going to play. And if you play the Miami Dolphins, the one thing you have to be able to deal with is that stretch zone outside run. So, teams started defending it. Now, I have no idea on this earth why there weren't contingencies or adjustments to that, other than, you know what? I tell you what, instead of running it out there, why don't we just do the quick pass out there? That was the adjustment. And at no point in time, as physical as football is, did you even dip your toe into physical football? Not even a little bit.
This made me nervous to read yesterday, too, because they're also counting on James Daniels to come back and play guard. Said this from Barry Jackson. Guard James Daniels continues to work his way back from a week 4 Achilles injury. His reps have said that he'll be back for the opener. McDaniel said Daniels understands, quote, how much we're counting on him and has done an absolutely fantastic job of phase one and phase two. He couldn't just go through the motions of going through the offseason tape and meetings. He had a great day on the field on Tuesday, is working on individual drills, and I can see what he's done on the field this past month during a period where coaches can only be in contact with him during off-field meetings. Daniels isn't yet participating in 11-on-11 drills. McDaniel would not say whether Daniels will play left guard or right guard, but said he wants to keep rookie Jonah Savaiinaea at one spot. Those two players are expected to be the Dolphins' starting guards, barring health issues.
Okay.
Please be okay, please, because I know what happens if he's not ready. I know what happens.
Can we go into one season with this? Everybody's healthy and ready to go.
I know, right?
It doesn't mean that you're gonna play the whole season that way. Everybody gets banged up. I understand that. But for the last 2 or 3 years, we've started OTAs, and the word has been this: hopefully this guy will be ready by week 1. And you've said that with too many guys that you were going to depend on.
It's just like, and it's almost like, oh, do you think are the Dolphins ever going to get good fortune with that? It's like, will Tua not bang his out? No. Okay.
But did Teron
Armstead have a full? No. Okay.
But there's certain guys, Tobes, there's certain guys that you knew were going to struggle getting ready for the season.
I know, dude, but they went after a guy. Like, I get it. Talented player.
I need available player. I mean, and you know what sucks? Tobin, is the radio, when I'm going to say what I'm getting ready to say, is, are we going to have to hit the dump button? Because when I say this, you're going to get upset.
Just don't.
The most reliable offensive lineman that the Dolphins have had is Liam Eichenberg.
Reliable at what?
No.
At what?
Wait. Let me change that. The most available lineman.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah, so
you know how they say the best ability is availability, except for him.
So,
which is part of the reason I'm upset that he's back.
Why?
Because I know how this is going to work. I know right now. I'm telling you,
because he's always available.
We're gonna get to August. They're gonna tell me this dude's. Oh, he's ramping up. He's gonna be ready, and they're gonna get to that final week before and they're gonna be like, he's just not quite ready. They were saying the same thing about Odell Beckham last year.
Ready?
The same thing.
Here's the phrase. You ready for the phrase? It's a long season. We're gonna err on the side of caution.
Oh.
Wait. Wait. When we hear that phrase in July, it'll be in August.
Bro.
Right? When you hear that phrase in August, don't be because the thing about Tobin is they might not even be talking about offensive lineman. He's gonna immediately think Liam Eichenberg is playing. Like they're gonna be talking about a quarterback. Oh no, Liam Eichenberg. I'm telling you, everybody has one or two of those guys on their team. Usually your backup center plays guard. Usually, and you got to have that flexibility so you can carry 10 offensive linemen and not 13 because you don't have people that can play multiple positions.
Yeah, but do you want to know something? Like this goes back to my point on him. Is like we talk all the time about what a thin position this is around the league.
Yeah,
this guy with as much experience as he was there for anybody. Comes back to the Dolphins on the minimum. Like what? They can't quit him.
I mean,
this is ridiculous.
For the minimum, you take a flyer on Liam Eichenberg.
But you want to know what? He could get paid the minimum. He's going to provide maximum damage.
Wait, so you think here? You heard it here first. At some point during the season this year, Tobin will praise Liam Eichenberg.
No, it's not going to I tried that last year. I tried that bit. It didn't work. I tried. And people are like, oh, yeah, great deal. Yeah, you know what? So is having a screen door for your front door. You wouldn't want it during hurricane season.
What? You just called Liam Eichenberg a screen door?
He's a screen door during hurricane season, dude. Flying all over the place. Schmieden says he gets paid the exact amount of production he gives, the minimum. Oh, man.
I think I just look at situations on a football field a lot differently than you. Right? Because I know why Liam Eichenberg's still on the team. And believe me, there's a lot of people in the organization that may feel the way you do about Liam Eichenberg. However, with the needs of so many other positions, to have a guy that can play multiple positions on the offensive line has value.
Yeah.
And then you just hope that he never has to play.
No, listen, the only thing that's stopping us from a season of Liam Eichenberg is a recovered Achilles. It's great.
Which is,
it's awesome.
Dude, like,
awesome.
What is it with South Florida teams? They've all, besides the Panthers, right? Between the Heat and the Dolphins, they have signed more broke players than I care to admit.
It's a marvel, dude. It's a marvel. I'll tell you what is reliable, though. When you want good dry cleaning. And for the best dry cleaning in South Florida, you want to use our friends over at A&T Dry Cleaners. The owners are, that's our guy, friend of the show, and he wants to take care of our audience. So if you use A&T Dry Cleaners, you let him know about Tobin and Leroy. He's going to give you 25% off your order, Leroy.
That's right. He can pick up and drop off your order. They have same-day sewing. Mama Ara is the seamstress, so she can take care of you.
She's the best.
They service all of Dade, Broward, and Southern Palm Beach County. And again, don't forget about that 25%, right? That comes in handy. You got all your clothes ready. You want to get your clothes ready for the summer. You're going to do your workouts. You're losing a little weight. You need it taken in. Just give Ara a call, 954-610-9383 at any time.
Man,
and
let me tell you something, Leroy.
Huh?
I'll tell you this about it. Like, I got the fight this weekend. Got the suit on.
The suit.
This fight, they get bloody. I mean, what if it flies in the ring and get a little blood on the suit?
Tobes, you're expanding your reach into multiple sports. You're doing a lot of different things. How about we get another suit?
Well, I know what I'm going to do when I get it right, and I need it looking right. I'm going to use A&T Dry Cleaners, 954-610-9383. Once you use them, you're never going to want to launder your own clothes again. Welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. It's that time of the show where we dive into the Mixburg. Mix it on up, dude. This is where we take our little, what are those things that you have when you're mixing batter? Is that I don't know. I stalled long enough. Anyway, Leroy, are you familiar with Myles Garrett?
Of course. Giant. Cool dude, though.
Myles Garrett was at a whisk. Thank you, Jukebox. Appreciate that. Is it an electric whisk? Is that different than a regular whisk? Anyway, Myles Garrett was asked yesterday about the idea of Aaron Rodgers playing in his division. This is what that behemoth had to say.
Aaron Rodgers coming into the AFC North.
What do I think about it?
Face him twice a year.
I think it's a good opportunity to put him in the graveyard.
No, you know what that means, right? Yeah, you don't understand.
I understand what he has. Yeah, he has a QB graveyard for Halloween in his house.
Yes, he has a QB graveyard for every quarterback that he sacked.
He's never gotten Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know if they ever played.
Interesting. Does the graveyard stay up all year or just Halloween?
Halloween. And he has a jacket or like a trench coat with all their names on it.
That's terrifying.
I mean, look, first of all, he's got a lot of sacks. So you got to be big enough for the trench coat to be big enough to fit all the names.
Does he put any quarterback in there or only the good ones?
No, every sack, every quarterback that he has sacked.
Even if he sacked Bailey Zappi, like Zappi gets to make the list?
Yep. On the by the way, like, I'm not a small dude. I think his arms are the same size as my legs.
Man.
And I said to him one time, you can smile all you want. It don't make you less terrifying. Right? Like, because he is nice.
Last time
except for when he swung the helmet at Mason Rudolph.
So does he put in the graveyard? Does he put him on is it a new one every year? Is that how that works?
No, if it's either added quarterbacks or you just have the same jacket. So he only adds the quarterbacks that he sacks. He doesn't add say if he plays Joe Burrow, sacks Joe Burrow 5 times in the 2 games. He's already on the jacket.
Wow. Well, good luck, Aaron. Speaking of that division.
Especially, Aaron Rodgers, who can't run.
Oof.
Woo!
You're so excited because you hate Aaron Rodgers.
I think I have to go to the Pittsburgh game.
Wow.
Because I want to be on the sideline and just watch this old man go down.
We just need to have somebody from Brown's Photography just photograph your reaction.
No, listen.
Can I get an over-the-shoulder look at you looking at Aaron Rodgers getting sacked by Myles Garrett?
Oh, yeah. Or maybe I should just send a selfie. Say, why is Leroy so happy? Y'all know why.
Jeez. What a scary individual. Speaking of that division, somebody who's been on his tombstone before, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
They're not doing him no favors, dude.
Why?
They just
the Hendrickson thing?
Just not even that. Like, have we not learned from watching football the last couple of years that you win games with offense and defensive lines, right? And they're doing what the Dolphins did and paid all their skill positions. And the guy who has been the most productive on that team, they refuse to pay. Like, it's just, come on.
Joe Burrow was asked about the pressure that is on the Bengals this season. Here's what Joe Burrow had to say.
We know the stakes. We know the situation. I'm not sure pressure would be the word I would use, but we understand the spot that we're in. missing playoffs the last 2 years. We know the players we have in that room, the coaches we have up there. We know the expectations we have for ourselves. So playoff, Super Bowl, AFC Championship, that's the expectation around here, so we got to get back to it.
Is it where the stakes are as high as they've ever been, or is that fair to say? Or?
I think going into every season, the stakes are very high. You know, every week is super high stakes for yourselves, coaches, families, fans. You know, there's jobs on the line here, so we're out there giving it our all every week. We got to go out and execute to provide for family, friends, fans, everybody.
This guy, like this Joe Burrow, really thinks he's something. I gotta tell you, like he's just so over the top unctuous with his just blatant air. There's jobs, not for you. You're the golden boy. I mean, like you're not in any holdout or standoff fighting for our families. What are you fighting for, dude?
I would say this, that there's certain things that happen in sports that if you don't recognize them at the time, then you invest way too much into the wrong team and wrong people. And what I would say is that there's nothing that has happened before or since that would lead you to believe that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to go back to the Super Bowl. It's just not. There's nothing, right? And I would say that was an anomaly. And even with that anomaly, we took Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals and threw them amongst the elite if Joe Burrow's healthy. And maybe that's not the case. And maybe we're expecting them to be something that they've never been other than good for that stretch in that period of time.
Well, don't let anybody tell it because it feels like you could say no wrong about Joe Burrow, Mr. Ambassador.
Right, exactly. But that tends to be my point, is that we are sitting here talking about Joe Burrow like he's supposed to be a mainstay in the playoffs, and I would say he had a good year, right? And things aligned for him. But they really haven't done anything besides have stretches during the season that would indicate that team is going to be consistent like they were when they went to the Super Bowl.
It's an interesting thing with Tim, too, because we have some comments coming in, and I feel like a lot of people blame the organization that he plays for.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they think that playing for the Bengals is looked upon as this great hindrance to Joe Burrow because they're cheapskates.
Right. No, absolutely. And I'm taking that into consideration, that sometimes a franchise or organization gets lucky and they think, oh, we can be this way all the time and he'll just save us. And it never works that way.
You familiar with Bill Belichick?
Perhaps.
I believe he coached a young, spry Leroy Horde.
He did.
He was asked at a North Carolina press conference if Jordan Hudson is going to be on the sidelines this year.
No,
this is what Bill Belichick had to say.
Role in the UNC football program, but again, there's been noise out there about a lot of different things. Again, our focus is day to day, getting better, stacking good days together, having good rest, recovery, and training, moving forward the next day, and from the coaching staff to focus on. How do we help our team get better? That's my job. That's our staff's job, is to put a good plan in place so that they can, if they do the work, that they see the improvement. And so, that's what our job is.
All right. So it didn't sound like no. She's going to have a field pass, dude.
You think?
Yeah. She runs the Belichick brand. Got to IG it, dude. Got to have it for the TikTok.
Dude, can I just tell you? From what I know of Bill Belichick, when the football season starts, he ain't gonna have time for that nonsense.
We think that's. I agree with you. But this is a different era.
Is it? He's still football. He's still Bill Belichick. He's still a football coach.
I think so.
And I think he's still be successful.
You know, yes, go ahead, Brittany.
He's already played into the nonsense and we've never seen this from Bill Belichick. I don't think it's going to change.
I don't even feel like he would answer that question.
Exactly. I feel like he would scoff it off. Like he's literally answering questions about his 24-year-old girlfriend being on the sideline.
I'm going to say,
where are we in society?
I'm going to tell you this though. I don't know if they'll get on college. I imagine they're going to get a college game day. Those producers are going to have work on their hands with those signs that are going to be in that background.
Wait. Tobin.
What?
Hey, jackass.
What?
Everybody's not like you.
College kids?
Oh, it's gonna be. I would love to see it actually. Put them on.
Wait, not if they do it on UNC's campus.
Why not?
I don't know, dude.
You think they're not gonna give? Here's what you got to do with Bill Belichick. You ready? And I'm gonna say this, knowing that he could care less. Give him a soft landing. Right? Don't put him on game day early in the season. Right? Put him there later on in the season to where if things are going well, then a lot of the nonsense that you're hearing is going to kind of fade.
He might be actually. They might be doing week 1.
Oh my goodness, not week 1.
But it's at home.
It
TCU.
don't matter. That's what I said. I just said, what if it's at UNC and you just
I think people are still going to make the jokey jokes.
You think UNC people will make the jokey jokes?
Well, no, it's not UNC people. It's 18, 19-year-olds. They're there for the clout and social media.
No, give me an away game. I want an away game.
That'd be even worse.
Exactly. I want the entertainment, Leroy.
Trying to think like where it is. They have a game at Cal that's on ESPN. I don't think that's going to be game day. Maybe at UCF?
No.
Hmm.
Do they play Clemson?
At home.
There you go.
At home.
Do they play Miami?
No.
Okay. So I'm just thinking of all the teams
Ooh.
Give me another one.
End of the season. If both teams, I got to know what
NC State?
NC State on the road.
So you got two choices: Clemson or NC State.
Gonna be something.
That's two because Clemson was in the playoff last year. Wait, do they play SMU?
They do not.
Okay, so there you have it.
They do not. Steve says, funny that Leroy thinks college kids have restraint. Well, the thing is, what they're going to do is they're going to have some person there who's going to try and do damage control on the signs. But, like, they try that every week, and some rascal sneaks through.
It's so easy. Have you ever been to a college game day?
No.
I have. I went to Notre Dame, Miami. And it is so easy. They literally, like, we had a suggestive sign. And
wait, that's what the kids are calling it now.
Suggestive. We had a suggestive sign, and the guy literally laughed. He laughed at it. He goes, "Go in." Like, they don't care. They think it's kind of funny, especially if it's in a home game. Maybe not so much, but if it's an away game, those are employees of like the university or like of the city. They're gonna want that.
Finally, in the mixed bag, Brian Windhorst was on ESPN yesterday, giving an update on the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. This is what he had to say on KD.
I do believe Kevin Durant will be traded in the coming weeks. Today, the Suns are naming their new head coach, Jordan Ott. He's at an introductory press conference. They've been going through that process, and I expect them to look into the Durant trade market pretty soon. Now, there are going to be a handful of teams that have interest in Durant. The key with Durant is this. He has 1 year left on his contract. Is he going to want to sign an extension, and is he going to want to be a part of the process of the trade, and are the Suns going to let him be involved in the process? That's a key factor going forward.
All right, there you go.
I mean, at what point are we going to look at some of the dumb moves that organizations make and then all of a sudden think they're going to do something respectable? Hell no, they ain't going to ask Kevin Durant. They ain't going to let him be a part of it. They ain't going to even care if he get an extension. They're going to be like, you want out? Bye.
I don't know, though. Like, no one's going to want to trade for a disgruntled Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, listen, here's the problem. Kevin Durant makes the lamest of stinks because he wants to play basketball so bad that no matter what, he's going to go hoop. Right? In every situation he's been in, every situation he's been traded in, he has played basketball at that place till the doors fell off. And that's the one thing I respect about him. As ornery, as cranky, as sensitive as he is.
Still arguing all day on Twitter.
No matter all that, when he gets on a basketball court, you don't have to worry about him not giving maximum effort.
We'll take a break here on the show. Get you caught up with your headlines. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. If you guys want to get us, you guys can get on the YouTube, Twitch chat, Miami 560 WQAM, taking your feedback there, except for you, Shmeethan, who we know your feedback is always just go to hell.
Feedback.
Let's
He doesn't give feedback.
Let's get to headlines.
Feed.
Get to our headlines here, brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen. Choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Just put the Marlins on in the studio. Thank you, Brittany. Marlins about to get going in about a half hour. Rubber match in their series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we'll see where they go. Yesterday got a great start from Sandy Alcantara, which was much needed.
Yep. You know it's this weekend also.
What is this weekend? What is this weekend?
What I'm going to be doing early on Thursday and Friday. All the shows. U.S. Open.
It's U.S. Open.
Yeah.
U.S. Open. Okay. Yeah, it's Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
All right. That's always one of my favorite things. I love how golf always puts a major on Father's Day weekend so they can have a
It's
dad.
the same one. It's always the U.S. Open.
Oh, sorry. So they always put the U.S. Open that weekend. Just like, just leave me alone on Sunday.
Yep.
To watch the golf. Who are you
Let
picking?
me tell you.
You picking Scheffler?
Publix, you on notice. Mother's Day, I can't even get into the damn store. You got flowers and cakes and all kind of stuff. Father's Day, I get a steak shaped like Florida and some Bud Light at the front door. Do better.
You want flowers?
Here's Brittany.
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want?
Wait. Brittany, you just ruined the bit for me because I said this in Publix and the manager came over after everybody was laughing at my funny and said, what would you like us to put up front? We'll do it.
A beer pyramid.
And what I said was, never got that far.
Nobody's ever asked me.
Nobody's ever asked me.
It's one of those-
So what should I say? Like, give me some craft beers. Give me some pre-made burgers, some ribs, right? Domino's. Oh yeah.
But
Well,
didn't you just say that they had steak and beer? Isn't that
yeah,
essentially
but
what
Bud
you
Light.
They
like,
really cheapskate it, and then they do
Right.
something like they put like a steak shaped like a heart or something like that.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
that doesn't say
But
love
it's
to
like
me.
this. Isn't the same, essentially the same thing as like chocolate covered strawberries in a heart? Like it's giving the same energy.
Look,
No,
At
it's
least they're
not.
trying. They're
No,
trying
it's
to
not.
do.
I don't know.
What? Valentine's Day, Publix is lit up like Christmas in July up in here.
I see those
All the
cookie,
different things you got to go in and buy.
I see those cookie cakes that say like best dad ever. You don't want that?
A steak that says best dad ever?
Not a steak, but like a cookie cake.
A cookie
No,
cake.
a cookie cake. That's it? A
I-
cookie cake?
Vlad says your beard ruined the bit.
I don't know. I feel like steaks are more expensive than flowers.
Did you ask for anything for Father's Day, Leroy?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I get PQ.
PQ?
Peace and
Peace
quiet.
and quiet. A little peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet. Like later on in the day, I may throw something on the grill for everybody's enjoyment. We may get in the pool. But you best believe the TV is going to be on and I'm going to be on some type of flotation device
Yeah.
with a drink in the hot sun. Wait, don't we have Panthers on? Is Panthers Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Cats
So-
back in action officially tomorrow. They're actually having an optional skate today, not a punitive skate, optional skate.
Right.
But that, of course, means Sergei
Everybody show
Bobrovsky.
up.
Sergei Bobrovsky's out there. This is a video from Jameson Olive, friend of the show. And this is what he refers to as Bob's practice ballet. And he's just out there by himself. Basically,
he looks like Bernie's doing trials for the Olympics.
Who?
Or whoever the Stanley C. Panther.
Yeah, I don't. He's just like gliding, just like
full gear.
Full gear in his zone. Focused.
Right.
Do you think like everybody out there is just like, we can't go out there yet? Bob is doing his thing.
Oh, no. And I listen. Every time we ask one of the Panthers about Bob, they become absolutely terrified and just go, we leave him to his own devices.
Just go. It's like, so, but I see, I picture Bob never messes up the schedule. Like I figure like if practice started at 11, then he's done at 11.
Hey, why isn't he moving his arms?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know.
It looks weird, right?
He's just in a flow right now. Like
oh, there you go. Drop one down. Drop the other one. There we go, Bob. Would it be something if he just broke into like it just did both legs? Like
I think he does. Like I'm sure there's gonna be some point where he's doing I'm sure there's going to be some point where he's doing splits and whatnot. This is just what Jameson put up on his Twitter, but he's just in the flow, the zone right now.
You think all the other hockey players, all the other Panthers are like standing outside just looking at him going,
I just think they let him do his thing. I mean, I know, back at like, dude, his practice after practice is sometimes 90 minutes, 2 hours, like of him just doing Olympic lifting or whatever the hell he's doing. How he does Olympic lifting and is still like the size of a pole I don't know, but it's just Russia. I don't know, dude. He's the most disciplined individual like I've ever come across. Doesn't even watch entertainment. He watches smart movies. Bobby, catch that Love Island?
Wait. And I'm just like all the things we say about Bob. And you go interview him.
Yeah.
Like that he has to be irritated, right?
With me?
Yeah, like,
never. I know
he's not.
I had him one time where I think he was just like, I'm not in the mood to do this. It was never in person. It was one time he was on a road trip and we got to do it. And I could just tell him like, he's not in the mood for this today. I don't know if something set him off or whatever, but it was like 4 minutes long. And, and I know people would be like, he sounded the same. I'm like, yeah, but I could tell.
No, you can tell. You can tell when somebody is not engaged.
But he's the best. And, oh man, Leroy, like Bob, if Bob's got one of them ones in him where he's just like, because he looked really great last game. It kind of gets lost in the ass kicking.
Yeah.
But if he's got one of those,
listen, the scary thing is that it wasn't for lack of opportunities.
Right.
Because they peppered him. They had some stretches where they absolutely peppered him.
Yep.
And it was just awesome.
Just couldn't speak about everybody. Like the defense between, Forsling's been so damn good this series.
Right.
Gus has been amazing. Nosik making up for the game one, diving all over the place. Can't wait. We'll take a break. And another person who's trying to refocus after getting bounced back from a disappointing season. We'll tell you about that next. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Oh, hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
How are you today? You have cat withdrawal?
I do. Can it be tomorrow already?
I'm telling you, we need to get there already. Let's get to this puppy.
I'm ready.
Let's freaking go. The NBA Finals resumes tonight as you have the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. Wow, you're a little bit down, Leroy. You're not into the series anymore. You think OKC's gonna steamroll,
I would say maybe it's the local interest I have in the Panthers. Maybe I just enjoy watching the Panthers and how they do what they do.
Yep.
Sometimes basketball is frustrating in that, like, the first game was awesome. Okay.
Yes.
But when one team's doing well, it's always at the other team's expense. So you have a whole bunch of these runs, and then you have teams that are professional basketball players go for stretches of 2, 3, 4 minutes, can't make a bucket. And it's just like sometimes it gets annoying. Because, I mean, I can't believe how bad Indiana was offensively game 2.
I just saw Dade South's comment that said they call Leroy's chin the crease. That's great. Goalie interference on your chin.
You're almost there, Leroy. And by almost, I mean not even close.
Oh, no.
You know what? It's amazing because my girl, my buddy, Jennifer never talks during interviews. Oh, but she had to let it be known.
It's not my interview, so that's why I stay quiet.
No, it didn't stop you.
Well, I mean, he was looking at you funny. I kind of had to.
Yeah,
he wasn't looking at me funny.
Michael Cooper loved him some JFig.
Oh, yeah.
He really liked me. It was funny.
And he goes, no, that's just ridiculous. What do you...
Yesterday, speaking of hoops, Jaime Jaquez Jr. was at junior
on the trade block.
No, he's not on the trade. I mean, he maybe is on the trade block. I don't know, but he was at junior heat camp and revealed that he's been on some of the things he's been working on this off season. You got Jaime Jaquez, Brittany, on the things that he has been working on, what he's worked on this off season.
Yeah, at first when the season ended, I took some time away just to decompress, gather my thoughts, really get to a place of peace. And then now, I'm full steam ahead. Been in the gym every single day, working on my mind, body, spirit, my jump shot, defense, really just getting my body and mind in tuned to get ready for this next season.
Are you claiming? You think Jaime Jaquez Jr. is on ayahuasca?
Listen, first of all, he had the single-handed longest period of bubble guts in the history of human life.
He had a lot of stomach issues this year. Yes,
right, and he didn't hardly play for whatever reason. But just out of curiosity, it caught me off guard when he said this. I took some time off and decompressed.
Yep.
You've been decompressing all year, dude.
I think you spent the second half of the season decompressed. Except against that.
He decompressed at F1 too.
He did. He went to F1.
So I'm not mad. Look, I get all that, but then when you say I had to focus on mind, body, and my
there seems to be there is a Jaime Jaquez Jr. off season that feels very
ayahuasca.
Spiritual. I don't know. I don't know. He also revealed, and this is the other thing that was interesting, he said that he is working with a mental coach this offseason. Here was more of Jaime Jaquez.
I think, gaining experience is always huge for your mental, but I think more than anything, it's just finding time and moments in the day to just really ground yourself and be present. I'm working with a mental coach to try to, just help myself become present in the moments, try to tune out all the noise and just really focus on what's important.
I can be your mental coach. Make a bucket. Your mentals are great. Stop talking about wait, I hate when athletes take.
You don't believe in mental coach?
I do, but here's the issue. We only resort to these things when we fail. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so from that standpoint, I look at it as, oh, you reaching and looking for reasons as to why you sucked. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm a little like saying so what if Gary Anderson the following year said, yeah, I had to get a mental coach?
Oh, I would assume that.
Norwood.
Yeah, but I feel like he would.
Why? He missed one field goal all year.
Oh, no.
Why all of a sudden you need a mental coach because you missed one?
Maybe there's a thing with him that you just have to get back to, I don't know what, because it did feel like with his rookie year, he did just go out and hoop. Never felt like the game sped up too much for him.
Right. Last
year, he basically got crippled by everybody sticking him in the corner. They're like, shoot, dude, go ahead. And that I think kind of messes with you because you're like, wait, why are you leaving me wide open? Like, what's going on here? And so maybe there's a mental aspect of it that has to get cleared to be like, hey, you need to be who you are. I don't know.
Here's what I would say. You already have to have a good mental disposition, right? To fail 60 to 65% of the time. And so, like, that part of it, if I went from football to baseball or basketball, I would need a mental coach because football is 100% sport.
Mm-hmm.
And the other two, you fail a majority of the time. But if you've actually been doing that sport your whole career, you kind of understand you're going to have some ebbs and flows of your career. Everybody does. And so I would say don't just associate needing a mental coach with failure. That's the part that I'm kind of
maybe though it's not. Maybe it's not about failure. Maybe the mental coach unlocks the path to success.
Okay. That all sounds great, right? And I appreciate what you're doing there, right? But again, if you make the game about making or missing shots, I would say shoot more shots, right?
Well,
like what happens in sports is when you're unsure of what to do, it comes across as being bad, right? Like when you don't know whether to shoot it or not, then when you finally shoot it, it looks crazy, right? So, like, yeah, I don't know if he needs help with his ability because we've always known him to be a pretty confident guy.
I thought that was the thing. Like, it just felt like he played at his own pace.
Right. And so it's fit. And I don't want.
This was from Anthony Chang's article in the Miami Herald. It said, becoming a reliable three-point shooter is among Jaquez's top priorities this offseason. Not only did Jaquez shoot just 31.1% on threes the past regular season, but NBA tracking stats say that 111 of his 119 three-point attempts this past regular season were either open or wide open, which is a defender at least 4 feet away, with teams consistently helping off him, daring him to take outside shots. So nobody respects it as like, so I think there's but I think that can mentally warp with you when you go from people guarding me, people, especially with a guy who likes to get people to bite on fakes and move in the paint and things like that. And now all of a sudden you're in this spot in the corner where you're wide open. You're like, do I shoot this? What do I do? What? And so maybe that's what the mental coach is for, or ayahuasca. I don't know.
I'm just like, I just think that failure is not a reason to be mental. You know what I mean? Like it's it's a normal thing in sports, right? Like it's part of.
But you need the mind, body, and spirit to be one.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay. Like,
what did you say in the first one?
And my question to you is, having better mind, spirit, or whatever, is they still gonna leave him wide ass open?
Yeah, they are. Oh no, he's gonna have they're going to near his ass.
And guess what? When you get into that moment right there, it's gonna be how well you prepare for that moment. It ain't gonna be how focused, how good your mentals are. So work at your craft, get better at it, and you know what? People who are more prepared and comfortable with their preparation usually seem to be more confident. So work harder at it. That's it.
I like Leroy, mental coach.
Oh, I got him. Like, I'm like, yo, you've been doing this your whole life. What changed all of a sudden that you got here? The 3-point line is the same distance. The court is still the same size. You're still shooting the same shots.
It's a little different from college.
That corner three.
What did he say in the first one again?
I don't know. Sounded like he was ready. He sounds like he was getting ready to hit something.
Yeah, at first, when the season ended, I took some time away just to decompress, gather my thoughts, really get to a place of peace. And then now, I'm full steam ahead. Been in the gym every single day, working on my mind, body, spirit, my jump shot, defense. Really just getting my body and mind in tuned to get ready for this next season.
Can I just say this? I would have felt much better if he had mentioned that jump shot first.
Yeah.
Well, right? You're a basketball player. And Leroy's former payment sausage.
We're just a good Father's Day display.
Huh?
Or just a good
Sausage,
Father's Day display at Publix.
I would say, I already said it. Like, you have some kind of.
No, you didn't say it because you said you didn't think that far.
No,
ahead.
I said burgers, some craft beers.
Oh.
Change it up a little bit.
Exactly what they have.
No, they put Bud Light out front.
It's not as presentable.
Oh, so now you want to go ahead and determine what kind of beer goes in the front. You know that this is also.
Don't put raggedy redneck beer out there.
Okay, but it's not their
People
choice.
like
It's
wacky
also
redneck beer.
It's also the seller who tells what to be.
No, they
there.
don't. No.
Leroy, I used to work there.
They have a good partnership with Bud Light.
You tell Bud Light to kick rocks.
I'm not going to tell Bud Light to do anything.
That much Bud Light.
They put the cheap wines out there for the Mother's Day too.
Nah, I feel like you get some fancy wines out there too.
No.
I don't.
Had,
first of all,
when I went into Publix for Mother's Day, they had more flowers than a damn botanical garden.
Well, because
and they have
like
flowers
flowers
pyramid for you guys.
Nah, they don't put. It's always the same. Like let's mix it up a little bit.
Why don't you go ahead and suggest things?
I did. I have.
No, you haven't. You literally said it yourself. You didn't.
No, this was a while.
You told the lady.
So
go with the list and say things.
Okay. Okay.
And I want to see the list.
Okay.
Okay.
I will have my list prepared for Friday.
Make all fathers super happy. Yeah, we're gonna ask for that list on Friday.
You know what? I'm gonna actually go to Twitter. Fathers, hit me up on what you want in front of the grocery store to make your Father's Day more enjoyable instead of Bud Light and steak the shape of a
But you're the only one that gets bothered by it.
No,
I'm not. I'm the only one that said
you. So you're gonna go ahead and ask all the fathers, what does Leroy want?
No,
you haven't even said what kind of beer you want in front.
Listen, when I said something, I said I felt that I was speaking for all men, but men don't say nothing.
I think he is. I mean, like it's one of those things where it's not something I'd ever complain about, but I've thought about it. You're like, this is not the Mother's Day display.
Right.
Do you want flowers in the front? Because that's mainly what it is.
I want
Can't tell you. I've never
man
had
stuff.
What is stuff, Leroy?
Maybe a tackle box.
You keep talking, but I don't
charcoal, lighter fluid.
They do have charcoal and lighter fluid in the front. What are you talking about?
They don't.
Several
do
different beers
I'm going
on
to Publix.
sale.
Yeah, what about like
charcoal and lighter fluid is insane. You're complaining about Bud Light and you want charcoal and lighter fluid?
It's the thought that counts.
Then he's gonna go ahead and complain about the brand of the lighter fluid.
Exactly.
Why is it Publix branded?
What
You
do
know
you
what
do
it
on
is?
Father's Day?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
What do I do on Friday? Whatever my dad wants.
Okay.
Can you ask him if he likes the display at Publix?
I don't think he cares. My dad doesn't care about many things.
We'll ask him.
I will.
Maybe
He
we all
seems
need to open up our
he
mind,
seems to
body,
get a
and
lot of
spirit to
joy
this.
out of scaring the hell out of me.
We'll take a break. Get to our favorite Wednesday game. Rats over ship is next. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let's get to our favorite Wednesday game, and that is Rats Off the Ship. What do you got for us today, Jennifer?
Well, first, we're going to start with Marlins baseball. We have Sandy Alcantara being back. He has the best start of the season last night.
Is he back? Is he back? I'm not rats off a ship on him being back. I think with his little protege, Yuri Perez, now being in the clubhouse, I think that has lit a fire under the Sandman because he don't want to embarrass himself in front of little bro. So now all of a sudden, we may have because he said yesterday, and this was pretty goosies, somebody asked him yesterday, said, when did you know that you were going to have a good start? And he goes, yesterday. And I was like, oh, I like that. So the fact that he knew going in there that he was going to have a good start, I'm not rats off a ship on him being back. Don't do that.
I'm not rats off a ship simply because, coming back from Tommy John, like you can be healthy, but you got to be comfortable and feel comfortable doing the things that you did before your injury. And I think now he might be getting into that window of just feeling comfortable and just being able to go out there and just throw it.
What about you, Jennifer?
Look, Sandy Alcantara is still on the team. That has to be good news no matter what. So not rats off a ship.
All right. What about you, Brittany?
No, I'm not rats off the ship on him. I think we got to give him some time, and clearly it's working. So I'm not rats off the ship.
What do we have for number 2, JFig?
Mike Tomlin on Aaron Rodgers helping the Steelers.
All right, here was Mike Tomlin yesterday. This is what he had to say on Aaron Rodgers joining the Steelers. You got that sound, Brittany, of Mike Tomlin and what he had to say on Aaron Rodgers finally, after a long courtship, finally joining his team.
I mean, read his resume. We're excited about him being here. He's excited about being here. But we'll make no bold predictions. We're just going to roll our sleeves up and go to work and let our efforts do the talking.
Okay, look.
That's what they all say.
I like Mike Tomlin. He's great. But I'm rats off a ship. Because here's the thing, Mike. It's not, I could go read his resume, but the thing about resumes that are long is that usually coincides with being one of the old. Ergo, I also think a part of the resume, I'd look up and be like, oh, that's a very big number on age for Aaron Rodgers. So as much as I'd like to think it's going to work out better because the Steelers, just on their face, is a better organization than the New York Jets, and Mike Tomlin is a better coach than whoever the Jets had. I don't know. Even with them being settled down and married, apparently. What about you, Leroy?
Rats off a ship on this.
Oh, okay.
As much as I like Mike Tomlin, you haven't been Aaron Rodgers yet. Every coach gets Aaron Rodgers.
He did have to deal with Russell Wilson last year.
Yeah, but not like this, dude. Not like this. At least, look, Russ is going to try too hard to be the company guy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is going to try not to be the company guy. Right? He's going to think he can do things his way, how he wants to do it. And at some point during the season, he's going to say what he thinks they should be doing offensively and undermine everything. It's coming. You know why? Because I've read his damn resume. That's why.
Jennifer, where are you with Mike Tomlin?
Man, that almost knocked down your headphones.
Yeah.
Rats off a ship.
Okay.
Rats off a ship.
Brittany?
Anything that has to do with Aaron Rodgers, I'm rats off a ship.
See? Rats off a ship.
Everybody's done with him.
Yep.
What's number 3, Jennifer?
Guys, I'm really excited to say this. Remember the lady who owned the crack raccoon?
Yeah, was that in Pennsylvania or something like that? She got pulled over, and the raccoon had like multiple crack pipes in its mouth.
Correct. Well, she refuses to give him up, apparently.
What?
Look, I'm rats off a ship. One, owning a raccoon is suspect as it gets, but it's not like Leroy's never owned a woodland creature.
Wait a minute.
But
No, I haven't.
owning, you owned Ricky.
No, we saved Ricky.
No, you
For a
kept him
week.
as your pet. He thought your curtains were a tree. You own that. You own that squirrel. And that's fine. I think I could live with it if you weren't addicted to crack. I can't have that raccoon, domesticated as it may be, being a meth raccoon or a crackoon. I can't have it. It's not responsible. It's not good for the creature. And I think she's got to give it up. It's either got to go live in the woods or it's got to find a more safe place. I'm rats off a ship on her not giving up the crackoon.
So it was in Ohio, by the way.
Of course it was. Of course it was. Like you can't have a raccoon addicted to crack. Can we just agree?
I'm not going to agree because you can't get in between a woman and her raccoon, okay?
Okay, but like if you were addicted to crack, JFig, and somehow Scooby got into your stash and you were caught,
that wouldn't happen.
I don't think you're entitled to Scooby anymore.
Once your critter has been introduced to crack, he can no longer be your critter. He must be set free and go do what he does in the wild.
Yeah, he's free, all right.
What if he keeps looking for her?
Here's the problem. Can you imagine a raccoon, a crackhead raccoon, walking the streets?
Oh, they would think it's rabid.
Right.
Like it's probably twitching. I don't know.
What if
It's gonna
it's
have
like
withdrawals if it goes out,
Hey,
back out into the
what if he said, hey, what if he would have talked? Then the cop would have worded, he say, hey, Mr. Officer, can you light this up? Let me hit. If we go into jail, I'm gonna hit this pipe one more time.
Where are your rats, Leroy?
I'm rats off a ship. First of all, stop owning raccoons. They're nasty.
But
They're
she had a
rabid.
very strong attachment to the raccoon.
Raccoons are rabid. They do carry rabies.
Well,
That's true.
She won't know because her ass smoking crack.
Multiple pipes.
She probably think it's Scooby.
Hey.
Has she ever identified that as a raccoon?
She thinks it's a dog, you think?
Yeah. You see all them crack pipes?
That was a lot of crack pipes.
Yeah. With a raccoon just sitting in her front seat? There ain't no damn way she thought that was her service dog.
I would love to know the origin story.
Like, think about it. Have you ever walked up on a raccoon? Did they ever seem like the type that would just get in your car?
How does it work with crack and having the munchies? Maybe she was eating a late night snack and saw the raccoon by a dumpster and is like, that's my raccoon now.
I bet she still thinks it's a dog.
Brittany?
Her NASCAR windows.
Yeah.
Where are your rats with the crack raccoon?
I'm absolutely rats off a shit.
Rats off a shit.
I'm not.
No, because listen, I grew up in South Carolina. Okay, so the Boondocks. I grew up in a very small town. People domesticated raccoons. Okay, I've been into many houses where there were domesticated raccoons. They were already off. They already like seem like they're on crack. So I can't imagine a raccoon that's actually on crack.
Hold on.
This is great. This is a really good revelation.
Wait.
See, not
No. We are not just gonna let you stroll by and say, I've been over several houses where raccoons have been domesticated.
Welcome to South Carolina.
Welcome to South
Guess
Carolina.
what? They ain't using
did
big
you ever
words
go in
to
the house?
explain that raccoon.
I would never put my raccoon on crack.
They're usually named something like with an R, like Rosie or something very cutesy, and they found them abandoned by their mother in the woods in the backyard, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna nurse it back to health.
That's right.
And then next thing you know, you got a raccoon in your cabinet eating your food and pulling your hair and biting you And
they're rabid.
They're rabid.
Ever
I agree with
seen
you.
Pocahontas, guys?
Could it
Okay,
catch? Could
this
it,
is not Pocahontas.
but could it catch rabies inside? Does that prevent it from getting rabies?
No, they carry it.
I don't know about that, because what if they're born with the rabies? Like I don't know that. I mean, it's South Carolina. Maybe the vets are vaccinating raccoons there. I wouldn't put it past them. Regardless, they are rabid animals. They are like, no matter how much you domesticate them, they are going to go to your cabinets. They're going to eat your food. They're going to pull your hair.
Well, they're
going to do all.
Remember the lady
Wait,
with?
did they ever pull
wait,
your hair?
Remember the lady with the pet monkey, the orangutan or something,
Oh, yeah,
and
had
then
her
it
face-
like ate her up.
Yes, the Travis, the chimpanzee.
But how does
it's the same thing.
how
It's
does-
very similar.
I'm curious about this because, and this may be a stupid question, but
Here it comes. The buckle up.
no, guys,
Buckle up. I'm
But, like,
strapping in. I'm strapping in.
how does rabies work? Like, is there a zombie raccoon that bites another raccoon, and then that raccoon?
No, they just carry it.
So wait, it just by chance turns into you're the rabid raccoon.
No, they carry.
Yeah, but a rabid
All
raccoon.
animals don't carry rabies.
Yeah, but you
Tobin's
can.
trying to act. Is it activated somehow?
Yeah. How does it activate?
When they bite somebody, then you get it.
No, that's not. No. Because you can distinctly see that raccoon's acting with rabies. It's got the foam in the mouth. It's like acting all, like a little tweaked.
Cracky.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's on crack.
Wait,
but it has rabies.
I can't. First of all, you have no credibility because you thought a possum had rabies.
I did think an possum had rabies.
No, apparently. So Leroy, you're wrong. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to tell you,
Really?
they have to be bitten by a rabid animal in order to get rabies.
Ding, 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 ding. Activated.
Yeah, but all animals. Wait. But here's the kicker. Even though an animal can get bit by another animal with rabies, they won't get it. Some animals aren't raped like a possum.
Right, but if it bites another raccoon, that's why I was saying, is it like zombies, where like if a raccoon with rabies bites another raccoon, is
Who's the original monkey?
Like,
I don't know. So I'm saying somebody had to have it.
the one with crack?
Probably.
No. What I'm saying is certain animals carry rabies, right? So if they bite another animal, then that
do the research, man.
right here. Not all raccoons have it, but they carry it.
It says can carry it.
Can carry it, right?
Thank
It's
you.
not universal.
Certain
Read
animals,
the fine print.
certain animals don't carry it. So that's what I'm saying. Possums don't carry rabies. Raccoons do.
Too late for the one in front
So
of my
all
house.
of this just means be nicer to raccoons.
Nope. I'm like, listen.
Yeah, but also don't get your raccoon addicted to crack.
You know
don't do
how
that.
raccoons kill animals, right? They jump on their back and rip their guts out.
I don't think that happens. They're too adorable.
I asked, pull that up there.
What
Mr.
kind of animal? Like a squirrel?
Whatever animals. I
Take
have a dog that got attacked by a raccoon.
Take a break. Back up to this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. The big three in the most anticipated season yet will take center court in Miami at the Kaseya Center on June 29th. Get your tickets now at kaseyacenter.com. Appreciate Michael Cooper stopping by yesterday. I believe we'll get some of the players on the team to stop by in the lead up to that game as well. Your headlines brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen right now. The Marlins are taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates, rubber match of their series. It is scoreless in the bottom of the second, but Pittsburgh's got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Cal Quantrill on the hill for the Fish. So they will try and get out of this little pickle and get going, see if they can find out. And he's got them down 0-2 right now in the count. Panthers wrapped up their optional practice. They got game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow. 8 o'clock puck drop from Amerant Bank Arena, as the Cats will look to go up 3-1 in this series on the Edmonton Oilers. Very exciting.
Very.
Dolphins wrapped up day 2 of practice at a mini camp for Miami Gardens. It was a report from Barry Jackson that said the Dolphins were not amongst the 6 or so teams to contact Jair Alexander, Leroy. So a lot of noise was made about him getting released the other day from the Packers.
Yeah,
very talented. This is
is
a lot of games. Seems right up the Dolphins' alley, but they apparently did not reach out.
Don't you have to break that mold a little bit? Don't you have to stop signing hurt players because you need availability?
One would think, but you have a starting guard recovering from an Achilles, so I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are. One piece of good news is Tyreek Hill has started catching the football again during individual drills. He's recovering from wrist surgery. Did you ever have wrist surgery when you played? Anything on your hand before you had?
I had 2 hand surgeries while I played.
So, like, what's that process like of getting back to catching a football?
Well, I had to play with a pad, so it made it a little difficult. Wrist is a little bit different, but the shock of catching the ball, you got to be able to withstand that. I would imagine because he had it right after the season, he's probably back to near 100%, because the rehab, you start playing light toss and stuff like that. So he should be all right.
Now let's get to some real news.
Oh, boy.
Shams Charania reports that the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant's business partner, Rich Kleiman, have met multiple times over the past week and are sifting through trade scenarios. Sources told ESPN on Wednesday. The 2 sides are expected to work together on potential destinations. Teams that have expressed interest in Kevin Durant are the Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, New York Knicks, and the Miami Heat.
The Knicks don't have a coach, so how is that even possible?
They got their hands full. Several wildcard suitors have also made inquiries to Durant in the past 7 days. He also pointed out today on the Pat McAfee show, he said, Miami is a team, I'm told, that has been engaged with the Suns over the last week, bringing in Kevin Durant to pair with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo to try and compete in this East. Oh, Riley, please.
Here we go.
Pat! Listen, I look at you, Godfather. I stick up for you, okay? Whatever happened with Jimmy Butler, whatever got us in this scenario, you need to fix it, dude. And so you better get your silver fox hair there with this Rich Kleiman, and you better charm the pants off of him, all right? Because he sounds like someone whose ass you need to kiss. I need Kevin Durant on the Heat. Let's freaking go. All right? Durant, Bam, and Tyler. I don't want to trade Khalil Ware. All right, so figure that out too. I need the warehouse here. That's what I need in my life, Pat. I need it like I need air to breathe. And I'm tired of waiting. Because let me tell you something right now. If I see him with that damn Victor Wembanyama, that windsock, and you take away what should have been mine, you already got too cute with Damian Lillard. And look what happened there. Played your cards a little too cute. So you better charm the pants off of this guy and that kook owner of theirs, Pat.
You tell them.
Jukebox says, I heard they don't want Ware, they want picks. Look, if you get Ware, Bam, Hero, and Durant, a little Davion Mitchell on the side.
Here we go.
What?
Here we go.
Don't get mad at me. I'm just reacting to what Sham said.
Miami's like the 9th choice on that list.
How do you know that? How do you don't know what the list is? You don't know what the list is.
Have you done the research, Leroy? Did you see?
Neither is he. He just reading it from one guy.
What do you want to do? Go play with Fred
That's
Van
research.
He wants to go play with Fred Van Fleet. He's going to go to Minnesota. Ant-Man's going to ask out of there anyway. He can play with Ant-Man here.
There you go. Now you're going to set up all the circumstances. All the circumstances.
Play with Victor Wembanyama. He's like, look at me, Kevin Durant. I'm doing an impression of you. He's like, all right, great kid. Stop shooting threes. How about that? You're 7'5". He doesn't want to hear that talk.
Prez, I'm not going to say that. I'm
What?
not going to say that because that'll make too much damn sense.
The Spurs and Rockets can offer the best package. Well, okay, give me the case.
Go.
Give me the case, because like here's the thing with the Spurs. Like, yeah, you can offer the best, but do they want to give up the best package? That's the question. Do they want to add Kevin Durant to the fold?
Okay,
there?
so let's look at it this way.
Number 2 pick.
Hold on. Let's look at it this way. Picks and players. Okay. Can you offer what the Spurs or Rockets can offer? Not saying that that's, going to work or not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, based on what you have right now and the information that you have right now, if everybody offered what they could offer, can the Heat match what either the Spurs or the Rockets can offer? Because they do have draft picks and a lot of young talent.
Yeah, but what do they want to give up? That's the question. Like if the Heat want to give up Khalil Ware and Tyler Hero, like you could say the same thing.
Yeah, but then that would defeat the purpose.
But that's the point. Is like if you're going to say that with the Spurs, you act like the Spurs are going to sit here being like, oh yeah, we'll give up Stephon Castle, cool. Like they're not going to want to do that either.
Yeah, but they have more draft picks to give away.
And do they want to? Are they going to get? If you give up the 20, if you give up the 20th pick and the 14th pick, it's 5 picks. What's the difference? Samesies.
Oh.
They're not going to give up the second pick for him. Let's be real about it. They're not going to give up the second pick for him.
Again,
if they give up the second pick.
I tried to avoid this, but I'm not the only one that thinks this, right? I'm not saying he's not going to end up in Miami.
Who says it? The sheep?
No, you just listened to the sheep to come to your conclusions.
I didn't listen to the sheep. Who? You listened to the sheep.
Who did you listen to?
I listened to me.
You didn't. No,
I'm
you
the
didn't.
shepherd.
No,
I
you
am the
didn't.
shepherd.
You just said, Sham said.
Well,
Isn't Sham's the sheep?
Going off his report.
Okay, that's the same thing. Listen, I'm not saying that that's the end result, but I'm saying the starting point, those two teams have more to offer than the Heat. That's a fact. That's factual. No, you can put whatever twist you want on it. That's facts. It doesn't mean he's going to end up there.
Yeah, it's also a case of where does he want to? If he doesn't want to be here, I never wanted him. But if he does want to be here, he's gonna have a say in it because he's only got a year left on his deal.
Again,
that's why you gotta kiss this Rich Kleiman's ass.
Again, all I said was, based on the teams that you mentioned, the Heat don't have what a couple of those teams have to offer.
We got Jaquez on a mental coach, dude. That's great value. Mind, body, and spirit.
You are. Can I just tell you?
Ayahuasca and Jaime Jaquez Jr. is going to be a steal.
Sometimes having big boy conversations with you is, I might as well be talking to Scooby.
You know what, dude? Because I thought the same thing. Because I think sometimes talking trades with you is like if I were to have trade talks with Bluey. You're a child. This is you. The Heat don't get him. Like you're always trying to ruin my fun. You're always trying to ruin my fun.
I'm not trying to ruin your fun. I'm trying. Listen, what I'm trying to do is,
you are, Leroy.
I'm trying to get Tobin closer to reality. We do this every offseason.
I didn't do
every
it last
offseason.
I didn't do it last offseason. I took a year off. The summer
trade deadline, you did it.
I don't recall. I mean,
you do it every year. Stop all of a sudden act like you don't do it.
I don't recall.
Oh, you're the worst.
I don't recall
that. You can't even admit to the.
No, I don't recall that. I mean, maybe I won't say that you're wrong, but I don't recall that.
If I'm not mistaken, somebody had to be hit with a tranquilizer gun.
That was 2 years
because you were
ago.
being so unreasonable.
But that's what I'm saying. 2 years ago, unreasonable. Then I took a year off. Now I'm back.
The second you hit the deadline when you took that whole time off, you went off.
I don't think I did because at the deadline we were trying to trade.
All of a sudden, you know what? Here's the funny thing about you. You never realize how unrealistic and impossible you can be during this period of time.
You know what? I was thinking of the same thing with you, dude. That's funny.
There you go. No, we're not.
I want somebody from me. You're never gonna get him. That's you.
I did not say that though. I didn't say that.
Oh, you're never gonna get him.
See, at least say what I said.
That is what you said.
No, I didn't. Pokemon, man.
No, I didn't.
I'm not gonna get them all.
What I said was, based on the teams he mentioned, there are other teams that have more to offer than the Miami Heat. It doesn't mean he's going to end up there because he may, in fact, want to go to Miami.
Right. Or they may not want to give up that much. Because he's one of the
Lassler's song was Pay the Man.
Yeah, it was. I was right about that.
No, you weren't.
You better make up for it and get me Kevin Durant, Pat. You better make up for lost time because all you've gotten me over these last couple of years, Terry Rozier and Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. Where's your harpoon, old man? Where is it? You want to sit here and make jokey jokes? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. How about you frog hop your ass into the ocean with your harpoon and you go get me a damn whale? Show me you still got it. Come on. I dare you. You better charm the pants off this Rich Kleiman. What? Just talking at the window, you know.
He heard you.
I swear to God, Pat, if this ends with me getting DeMar DeRozan, you and I are going to have a long talk, dude. If you sit here and you try and give me a consolation prize of DeMar DeRozan, who I really respect as a player, but have no interest in being on the Miami Heat as the number one scoring option, you and I are going to have problems, pal.
You hit him with the pow.
I hit him with the pow.
And the buddy, hit him with a buddy.
Bucko.
The intangibles version.
God says, you notice that tone changes when he asks Pat a question face to face.
Oh my goodness.
Hey Pat. Yeah.
What are we gonna do with DeMar?
You won't even look at him in the eye.
Oh, I'll look him in the eye. He looks Pat right. He stares at you right. He stares through you.
What can I get your enthusiasm?
What?
But it's my job as your friend to not let you get too unrealistic, right? And as soon as somebody mentions a star and being traded, you immediately go into this mode like he definitely wants to play for the Heat. And I'm like, that may not be the case.
Well, up until I find out that Kevin Durant didn't have the guts to be on the Miami Heat, I'm putting it on Pat Riley. Until if I find out different, then the facts have changed, and I'll walk it back. But don't you dare come to me with DeMar DeRozan if he doesn't want to be here. We'll take a break, huh? Back with more to this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Miami 560 WQAM. Timbo says Tobin's about to wake up with a horse head in his bed.
Or DeMar DeRozan.
I saw that he was on Dwayne Wade's podcast. I was like, oh no, he's starting the inroads already. He's gonna make the olive branch happen. Oh. I wouldn't mind DeMar DeRozan on the Heat. It can't be the only thing. It can't be. It can't be, Pat.
I mean, to me, and tell me, would you say that DeMar DeRozan has a very similar game to Jimmy?
Not as good a defender, but he's a more pure scorer.
Okay. What does this team need more than anything?
It needs a scorer. Needs a go-to scorer for sure.
Okay. So,
but he's just not that. But Leroy, this pure scoring, there's just not that. He's just not that guy. You know, he's just not that dude.
It's
not that dude.
All I'm saying is this. You fell in love with Jimmy and called him playoff Jimmy. And what if I told you that while DeMar DeRozan may not be playoff Jimmy, he'll be more consistent on the offensive end?
Yeah, but he's got very few examples of in the postseason rising his game. So while it's nice to have that against the Hornets on a Thursday night, when typically his teams have floundered in the playoffs. Now I understand when he was on the Raptors, he was running into the LeBron buzzsaw year after year after year. But they sent his ass packing and they won a championship. Huh? Has he been back to the playoffs since?
With Chicago, didn't he?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I think with Chicago.
I don't know. But if there's somebody else to go along with them, I'm all ears. But if that's the move, I'm going to give such a dirty look to Pat Riley next time I see him.
You won't.
Oh, I will. He can't charm me out of this one. I've made my thoughts known, JFig.
Yeah, to the window.
To the walls.
To the sweat.
I'm not saying the rest. Nope.
Schmeathan says Bam would be the best teammate DeMar has ever played with. Yeah, maybe. Prime Kyle Lowry. LaMarcus Aldridge. Did he play with in San Antonio?
That seems a long time ago.
Been around a long time. He's not young.
Well, he's younger than Jimmy?
I don't think he is.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he is.
All right.
He's the same age. Great mid-range jumper, though. An assassin with that. I just can't have it be the only move. The only move cannot be DeMar DeRozan. And I will not get off this stance.
So you're saying the only move could be KD, but it can't be DeMar DeRozan.
That's right. And I think that's a completely mature stance by me. No. I'd rather just run it back. I really would. I'd even run it back with Andrew Wiggins before getting DeMar DeRozan here. I think it would just feel like we did something here. Shut up. And then they're going to talk me into it, and they're going to be like, oh, well, these are his metrics. And Spo's going to be like, and he's a winner. He's a winner who hasn't won. He's going to do the whole song and dance. I already know the press conferences. Don't do that to me. Stop pulling the wool over my eyes and get me Kevin Durant. Because if you sell me a bill of goods, guess what? I'm going to call you out on it. And that's nonsense. It's a nonsense move. She even says, if you want to go far, you can't go with DeMar.
Really? All right.
Leroy, he's known as like, he's always known as like one of the great regular season players. Not a playoff guy. What? Don't look at me like that. I don't understand. You're being unreasonable. And I don't like that. You're being unreasonable.
I'm not. I'm not being unreasonable. A month apart in age.
Yeah, I told you this. He's old.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You were going to give Jimmy $60 million for 2 years down the road.
He brought me a lot of good memories. That's why.
Memories.
Yeah, he brought me a lot of good stuff. A lot of feel good. Carrying things like DeMar DeRozan couldn't. That's why he gets shipped out as the face of an organization.
You know what? If Jimmy was on this team, you'd be miserable.
No.
Because he wouldn't. Oh, my goodness. All right.
Like, I don't want to talk about, this is the thing with you. You love to live in hypothetical land. It's over.
Really?
I think it's time for you to get over it.
What is whaling?
Hope. But you like to live in past.
It's also the other H word, hypothetical.
There's a difference in living in future hypotheticals and past hypotheticals.
Okay, so I was living in future hypotheticals when I said don't pay Jimmy.
Okay, but now you're not. Now it's over.
And you were living. Wait. Hold on. And you were living. Wait. Hold on.
Beating a dead horse.
Wait.
Topic. What does it matter?
Distinct difference.
He's
in
not
the Jimmy
here.
Don't stop. Our distinct difference in the Jimmy Butler thing was I was talking about what Jimmy would look like 2 years from now, and you were talking about what Jimmy looked like 2 years ago. So if you want to talk about hypotheticals versus the past, you did it with Jimmy.
If you were
did it with Jimmy.
If you were a superhero, your name would be the Dweller. You just like to sit and dwell on stuff.
And yours would be the Dreamer.
Yeah, which is, and guess who's having a better time? The Dreamer, not the Dweller.
No, he's not, because the Dreamer's always disappointed.
No, wrong.
Really?
Wrong.
Would we like to go through all of the moments?
Would love to. See, I have this argument with people all the time. I don't need to put a cap on my hope or dreams. But people, the dwellers, they like to do that because they like to wallow and dwell.
I like to call you another D word right now.
I'm just saying, that's what you are. You dwell. Oh, what if
no, wait.
So who cares?
Wait. So why isn't it dwelling when you talked about what Jimmy did?
I'm not talking about it anymore.
Oh,
it's
so
over.
now we're moving forward.
I'm moving on.
We're moving forward. We're moving on. Right. But while you admit that DeMar DeRozan is a better scorer, and he would probably be a more consistent scorer for the Heat, you say he can't win the big one.
Well, maybe in year 17 he'll figure it out.
No,
I love how he says that he's moved
Jimmy doesn't
on.
have a championship either.
He's gotten to the finals.
Okay, but he doesn't have a championship either. They're in the same spot.
See, this is the thing. Like, be a grown-up, dude. One guy consistently ousted in the playoffs. Then his franchise casts him off. They win a championship without him. He's been a very talented but pretty irrelevant player for the better part of 7 years.
Okay.
He has been.
Okay.
So talk on Jimmy's legacy all you want.
I'm not talking on it.
Than DeMar DeRozan. What are you talking about, dude?
I have never disrespected Jimmy as far as saying that what he has done has been insignificant. But what I did say was when that thing started going sideways and Riles wanted him to play more games and he didn't, okay, what do you think that's going to look like 2 years from now? And so I was thinking in the future.
Yeah, but
I wasn't thinking in the past.
Yeah, but you're trying to do a thing now where you're saying DeMar DeRozan's a better scorer than Jimmy Butler. Ergo, he's going to have as much of an impact. And that's just not been the case his entire career.
Okay.
It just hasn't been. So,
but when you look at what your options are.
Yeah, I'll pass him. You can say Andrew Wiggins has been a bigger impact player in the postseason because he has than DeMar DeRozan.
That I agree with. but he went through some stuff last year, and you ready to dismiss him.
He dismissed me.
How did he dismiss you?
He just did.
You know what? Regardless of what you do, regardless of who you are, life don't play.
All right,
You have real life issues, and I know sports fans don't care because they just want they feel good on the basketball court or on the football court and on the baseball field. But real life crap happens to people.
What are you, Sylvester Stallone? Go give a speech outside an Italian restaurant.
I'm just telling you, that dude
Nobody
went through.
knocks you down like life.
Okay.
Nobody does.
You have no sympathy for nobody if he doesn't make you feel good.
Not true.
Really?
Not true.
Then how many times did you call Andrew Wiggins a bum?
I haven't called him a bum.
What'd you say?
I've never called him a bum.
Okay, what did you say about
I've
him?
never called him a bum. I've said
What did you say about him?
I've said I've never seen somebody who looks less enjoyed to be in a Heat jersey than him. He looks miserable.
Okay. He may have been miserable.
Maybe he was, but I've never called him a bum.
But I will say this.
Never said it.
I would say this, that if you're talking about a two-way player and a scorer, Andrew Wiggins will make more of an impact than DeMar DeRozan.
So you just agree with me?
You just dismissed him.
You just agree with my point.
No.
You just went around about it. You just thought you made the point. I just made that point.
Yeah, but you didn't want Andrew. You wanted Andrew Wiggins to be gone.
I literally said a segment ago, I'd rather just keep Andrew Wiggins.
Okay.
This guy. He thinks he changed his tone, and he thinks that he beat me on an argument that I already made the point twice.
The only reason why you think you won an argument is because you just dismissed what I said about you that was factual.
No, what happened is you thought that you were going to box me in. And in fact, what I did was box you in, sir, because you came back to my side of the argument, which is you don't want DeMar DeRozan either.
No, I didn't say that.
You did, basically.
I didn't say that.
Take a break. Back after this. All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Panthers back at it tomorrow. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, 8 o'clock. Cannot wait for that. Right now, the Marlins, they're down 1-0. Looks like they got runners on the corners. Was it top of the 4th? Oh, yeah, that intangible didn't have to rush. Second and third, 2 outs. Sanoja with a double off the little kicked corner. Love when a ballpark is a weird corner that they got to bounce around. Always fun.
I mean, you build a stadium. It's pretty amazing. You build a stadium and you have access to build it however you want, and they still building with these crazy walls.
I've never been to that ballpark in Pittsburgh, but it looks really cool. I want to go one time. I have no interest in going to Pittsburgh other than to see that ballpark. Otherwise, Pittsburgh.
I've been to Three Rivers.
Oh man, that's old school.
Yeah,
that's old school.
Yeah,
but it's a cool look. You got the bridge in the background. It just seems like a nice place to catch a ball game. But right now, Marlins looking to try and tie things up as they're down 1-0. The Dolphins have wrapped up day 2 of mini camp. And tomorrow will be the last day of that. And then we're basically on break until we get to training camp.
Which is end of July?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember my training camp will start the weekend after July 4th.
Jeez.
Yeah. But then one year, my rookie year, I want to say I had 6 preseason games.
Did you have mini camps? Was that like a thing?
Yeah, we had mini camp, but dude, show you how times have changed. It was before so our mini camp was the last day of mini camp was a barbecue and open bar.
Ooh.
Yeah. So everybody brought their families or whatever who had families. And then the turnaround happened. So you couldn't, the trainers would have a cooler and there would be beer in the cooler when you got on the bus or the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And then that ended. And then we didn't do the barbecues anymore. That's when Bill took over my second year. And yeah, it just got real health conscious. No smoking at halftime for some of the players. Right? We had a couple of players that smoked cigarettes.
Tears just goes, the ballpark is cool. Everything else in Pittsburgh is trash.
Yeah.
Does Pittsburgh suck?
I mean, when you drive into Pittsburgh, you see, they call it the Steel City. And all you can see is those little stacks with the smoke coming out of it. Yeah.
Smog, like you walk into Gotham. It's just
yeah, it kind of looks like Gotham with
Jeez.
with the smoke stacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We could never figure out how the hell to get to Pittsburgh.
What do you mean?
Because it takes longer to fly than it does to drive.
Oh.
Because you got to, you go to the airport, you fly, then it's like 45 minutes to your hotel. Same thing with Cincinnati. Cincinnati sucked. You didn't even fly to Cincinnati. You flew into Kentucky.
Well, fishing business right now. They got bases loaded. Augustine Ramirez is at the dish. And Falter's their starters starting to nibble. Starting to get a little squeaky cheeks out on that mound. That's what happens when you don't have anybody knows how to get deep in a game anymore. 62 pitches, they're cooked.
After what? How many innings?
This is top of the 5th.
That's not bad. 62 pitches in 5 innings?
Yeah, but now he's acting like he's throwing 100. He is laboring. 2-0 count.
That is the craziest thing about baseball is how when everybody's getting bigger, stronger, and faster, how we have gone the opposite direction on pitchers.
He lined out to right field. Damn it.
Hit it hard?
Yeah, he hit it hard, but
that's all you can ask for.
Hung up. Oh well. All right, so lots of things firing out there right now. We got our first Durant action in a while. Apparently, the Heat have met with the Suns about a potential trade. So we'll keep posted on that. And, of course, get you ready tomorrow night for Panthers. Hey, you should start hydrating like right now. You got to get you got to get your you got to start.
I got to get my electrolytes right.
Get some electrolytes right. Yeah. Because this game, this is a big one right here. Because you know Edmonton's coming out firing. Like they're gonna try. I feel like Knobloch's gonna tell them, hey, pure speed, none of this nonsense. We can't win that way. If he's a smart coach.
Well, here's hold on now. Now you know athletes and coaches, right? They want to be what they say they are. And he came out and said, our team's very physical too.
Stupid.
Of course it is. Like most coaches would kind of leave the door open and say, listen, we've played a number of different ways. You know, we have a lot of skilled players and, you know, we'll find a way, right? That's what Paul Maurice would say, right? Paul Maurice wouldn't come out and kind of back his players into a corner by saying we physical, and then the only way they could be physical is the street stuff.
Paul Maurice also is just very hard. It's very hard to impress him with physicality because he's just like, ain't nothing like that Boston series. Like he just always goes back to, like there's a standard that he has for physicality, and it's like nothing is ever going to meet that for him. So anybody who's like trying to play pretend physical, he almost mocks it. He's always just like, you guys were impressed with that because there was what, 2 hits?
Yeah, he does.
Like you can't impress him with that.
But here's the thing. It's one of the things you appreciate about him because good or bad, he just seems very unimpressed, right?
I just want to see that.
When was the last time he said, that was a great hockey game. We played awesome.
He feels like he's been very waxy of poetic lately.
Right.
That's where he's been at. All right, that's our show for today, everybody. We appreciate you stopping by. I'm out tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday. But everybody have a great rest of your day as we get ready for this Cats one. And enjoy the rest of your day. You miss any of the show, get the Tobin and Leroy podcast. Talk to you next time.